had an extremely short dealing with a hobosexual. I don't know when it was. I lived in Longview, Texas. He lived in Shreveport. Very sexy man. He looked like a beige Brent Fayez. I think Brent Fayez is very attractive. And my first mistake, I never do this, but I don't know. I was feeling months ago. We've been texting and FaceTiming for like a month. Well, actually, my very, very, very first mistake was meeting him on Be Okay. Oopsie, oopsie. Okay, I met him on Be Okay. And then my second mistake was letting him pick me up. I never let him pick me up. I don't know. I think I just didn't want to drive today. I don't know. So he drove the hour from Shreveport to come see me. He picked me up. Everything's going good. And like as we're on our way to the restaurant, I let him pick the place. Well, not let, but you gonna plan it. I ain't planning. I don't want to think. You asked me here. Fix on now. And so as we're riding, he's just like, oh, I had a daiquiri on the way out here. And I come to the side and I'm like, okay, drink, drive, go to jail. I'm kind of lost on you. Something happened. And he was like, yeah, I had a long night last night too. And I was like, oh, okay, well, like, what happened last night? And he was like, oh, I went out. And basically, it's a carrying me back in the house. And you're drinking again. Anyways, and then like, we get to the restaurant, we sit down, and like we're still talking about his night. I said, oh, so where did you and your friends go? He said, I don't have any friends. Okay, who did you go out with? And I shit you not, he sits there and giggles to himself and says, my clients. Your clients. Okay. So like I said, I wrote in the call. I know a flower distributor when I see one. Okay. So then I'm like, what type of clients are they? And then he looked me in my eyes and be like, you asking too many questions. Are you selling it? Anyways. Okay, so I slide past that. Run into one of my homegirls there. She was just there. Hey girl. It was weird. He didn't speak to her. He did pay for everything. He paid in cash or whatever. And I think I had one drink. He had like maybe 2 more drinks. And we were on our way back to my house. So I told him, hey, you can park in this visitor spot right here. I'm gonna get out. It was nice, hanging out. He was like, oh, I can't come in. I said, why would you do that? Why would I let you in my house? And he was like, well, like I thought you was gonna let me spend the night. I joke, I already see you. I said, we never discussed that. And that was never a thing. Like yeah, we were talking for a month, but baby, I don't get down like that. Okay, I still don't know you. And he was just like, but like I've been drinking. I said, yeah, you had a drink before you drove out here. You knew you'd been drinking. I thought you were okay with it. And he was like, so you just gonna let me drive home after I've been drinking? I said, you made the conscious decision to drink. I thought you were okay. I'm not riding back with you, so I mean, you're more than welcome to like, stay in a visitor spot. They're not gonna tell you. You can sleep in the parking lot. You got a pretty dark tent. And he was like, well, my car's not the best. I heard the engine knocking when you pulled up, and I saw the check engine light when we were riding. I knew you didn't have your priorities together. That was just something I was jotting in my little notebook. But like, you were paying for everything, so I don't know what you wanted from me. And he proceeds to just keep being persistent about like I'm too drunk to drive home, and I'm like, well, if you don't want to sleep in my apartment complex, parking lot, then just pull over the side door. I've already done that, and the police came knocking on my window. Obviously, you don't care about a black man and blah 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 blah. I said, you don't care about yourself, because why would you put yourself in a situation? Like, I'm not understanding. Well, like, blah, blah, blah. He just going on and on. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna think about it. You hang out here. So I go in the house. I go in the house. I call one of my homegirls and I tell her what's going on. And she's like, dang, bro, you can't let him sleep on the couch. I'm like, he knew what he was doing. So long story short, I let my homegirl guilt trip me into letting him sleep on the couch. The next day comes and he acting like he did to the world. I'm in there slamming stuff. It ain't much in there. I moved into the apartment and I knew I wasn't gonna be staying there long. My TV was still in the box in my room. He never made it to my room, none of that. So it's like noon when he wakes up and he was like, can I take a shower? And I'm like, you have a change of clothes? I always have a change of clothes in my car. And so I'm like, okay. And he was like, all I need is a face cloth. Is it okay if I get a face cloth? Like, he even had a big towel. I said, yeah. So I let him take a shower. All right, time to go. And then he's sitting there watching Kevin Samuel videos on my couch instead of leaving. And then he turns and looks at me. He's like, hey, can you do me a favor? I said, what? He said, can you go to my car and get something for me? I said, what? He said, my game system. And again, we're sitting in my living room. I don't have no TV. My TV is in my room in a box. He never went back there, so he doesn't know I have a TV. So I look around the living room. I said, and what are you going to play it on? And he said, oh, I have a monitor. Can you get the monitor as well? I said, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. I got to go. Yeah, you got to go. Why I got to go? You got to go. And then the next day, it was a Monday. Girl went to work. Got sent home early from work because of a tornado. I'm happy speeding on the highway trying to make it back to Longview from Marshall, Texas. And he's like, hey, can I come to your house? I said, no. He was just like, oh, no, I really want to see you. So, like, I'm on the way. I said, no, it's a tornado coming. You might as well stay where you at. You won't get, little bit. You won't get swept away. No, but like, I really want to see you. Hey, I'm uninterested in talking to you anymore. You're too pushy and I don't ever want to talk to you again. The best to you. What made him think I was going to go get that monitor?